Ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be one controversial topic that I'm going to be discussing here, and each and every one of you will probably like part of what I have to say and hate the other part. Just take it easy. As indicated by the title, this is going to be another Arrow Season 6 video, or more or less a Felicity Smoak throughout the past season's video and the upcoming season. The only difference between this video and my usual videos is I'm going to be speaking about the two elephants in the room, Felicity as a character and Olicity as a couple. The question that really poses itself here is all about whether or not we should be hating on or loving either those all that much, fighting over Felicity and her relationship with Oliver on the comments to various videos and articles all over the internet, willing to wage wars and invade continents in order to win those kind of arguments. In essence, a full disclosure though, this video has been inspired by an article I read around a month ago which listed reasons as to why Arrow fans hate Felicity Smoak, and it was a piece of crap. As I read through that article, I could only think whoever wrote it, 1. really hates the character, he wants to blame her for everything that is wrong with the world, or 2. just wanted to write an article no matter how shitty its content was, just to attract readers, or 3. doesn't really know or understand shit about Arrow. But let's first look at Felicity as a character while slowly easing into her relationship with Oliver. On the very first season of the show, Felicity was introduced as this tech person working for Queen Consolidated and trusted by Walter Steele, Oliver's now stepfather. Her introduction comes as part of her helping Oliver sort out tech and information related issues, not knowing he's the Hood, the vigilante of what was known back then as Starling City. So far so good. She's funny, she's all cute, she makes the most hilarious comments, and her presence in the scene happens to be very entertaining, which should make her up until this point a character with the potential of becoming a fan favorite. Now when Oliver realizes his mother, Moira Queen, has something to do with the undertaking, he pays her a visit in her office as the Green Arrow. You know, the whole Moira Queen, you failed the city. I know that was a terrible impression, but anyway, when Moira shoots him, he ends up hiding in Felicity's car and asking her to drive him to the Arrow Cave to save his life. A bunch of fans back then, especially comic book readers who were looking forward to Laurel being the next addition to the team, were completely outraged. The rage was all about how easily she ended up coming into his inner circle. That was of course a bit lacking in logic, because life and death situation, he dies, there's no inner circle to keep safe from Felicity or anyone else. But even with her crush on Oliver, she doesn't really seem to care all that much for being part of the Arrow team, not even to impress the man she's been seemingly crushing on every single time he visited her office. The only reason she sticks around is to make sure she does whatever can be done to help Oliver find her boss and his stepfather, Walter Steele. So far, all is still pretty good. However, here's where things start getting a bit bumpy, but only because of fan bias. Felicity's flirtations with Oliver continue, and her feelings for him seem to be growing in magnitude. Something that definitely pisses a few fans off because they get the feeling the writers are not planning on pairing him with Laurel. As I just mentioned, that was just fan bias and is no real good reason to hate Felicity. Simply put, the show's never promised to stick to the comic books to the letter. Every single synopsis released for all these shows so far ends with a statement about how this is based on characters, not arcs, not storylines, but characters from DC Comics. I'm sure you all know what defines a character and get the difference there. But moving on, let's skip most of the second season, where every time she interacted with Oliver, she was trying to impress him into falling for her, which is kind of understandable. She looks at him as the whole package, handsome, strong, rich, and trying to do right by his city. But at the very end of the second season, she seemed pretty oblivious to whatever Oliver was trying to do, admitting his love for her in the Queen Mansion in order to trick Slade into abducting her so he could track both her and an abducted Laurel. At that point, you would expect Felicity to rage later on as a product of his admission of love, before slipping her the injection she would later on stab Slade with. Felicity should have seen it as possibly fake and should have just moved on, or at least contemplated it. Simply put, the man used her emotions for him momentarily, used her and put her at risk in general to save this other woman. That was just terribly and badly written. But let's get into the third season. Oliver, who has been sticking with the relationships and being pushed out of them over the course of 2 seasons, starts off season 3 by pushing Felicity away. I don't really see that as bad writing, considering she was put at risk on the very first date with him, something that would lead any normal caring person to push her away to protect her. I just hate the whole rom-com stereotype. Push them away, bring them together, push them away, bring them together, push them away, bring them together. But fast forward through the season and get to the end where they sleep together in Nanda Parbat. Then fast forward some more to the very end of the season where they drive into the sunset as Oliver leaves his arrow mantle behind him and in the past. Now jump into season 4 and you discover Felicity has been cheating on Oliver with the entirety of the Arrow team. Metaphorically, of course. That Felicity is the very same person who only agreed to work with Team Arrow until they found Walter Steele on season 1. Yet now she's all addicted to vigilante justice, even though she's not even a field player. She's also keeping secrets from Oliver right there, which is something that will come into play down the road in this video. But in all cases, that was bad writing creeping in and tainting the hell out of Felicity. It all just doesn't make sense or add up. Why would someone who started off as this nerdy tech chick be this addicted to all of this, when the man who started it all to correct his father's mistakes wasn't addicted to it anymore, or at least was able to control himself? Once again, it's just terrible writing. So they return back to Star City, and at some point Felicity ends up paralyzed from the waist down, discovers Oliver has a son, and in an extremely dramatic, not at all necessary scene, walks away from Oliver the moment Curtis Stack gets her able to walk. So this is exactly where my own rant starts about Felicity, and the part where I'll still blame it on the writing, but I also make clear, irritates the hell out of me when it comes to the character as well, because I'm not reading the script, but rather watching a character on screen. For some reason, Felicity believed Oliver should have risked not seeing his son once again and told her about him, when it was not a secret alone to tell. She felt she had every right to be part of the decision-making process for said kid, which was as well extremely stupid, because Oliver didn't even have that right to his name, given Samantha's reaction when she met him in Central City during that season's crossover event. And while he stuck by her as she went all no feeling from the waist down, she walks away from him the moment she can walk in a dramatic, bitchy scene. That was just horrible. But jumping into season 5, she ends up joining Helix and not telling anyone about it on the team, something that makes her into a complete hypocrite. Simply put, this is exactly the kind of reason she lost faith in her relationship with Oliver and believed he broke trust, keeping secrets, and this one was way too big. Now at first I justified this as some sort of a downward spiral, as a product of the death of her boyfriend Billy Malone at the hands of Oliver, after being tricked into it by Prometheus of course. But there were concealed flirtations she had with Oliver, and some display of feelings for him later on down the road during the events of the 5th season, and a kiss at the very end. And all of that happened not too long after Billy Malone died. Downward spiral for Billy, flirtations, feelings, and a kiss for Oliver. You're one very confused character, Felicity Smoak. But even if we write all that to confusion, that would not be justification enough for her joining in with Helix and risking messing it all up for Team Arrow. Nonetheless, we should still thank Felicity for being the show's way for introducing the team of hackers whom we should expect be led by Michael Emerson's character on the upcoming season. That's just a strong feeling / prediction that Michael Emerson will be portraying Cayden James on the upcoming season, so don't take my word for it. Not yet at least. But all in all, should we love Felicity and the product of her existence that is Olicity on the show, or should we hate it? I'll let you judge for yourself, but on my end I kinda love Emily as an actress. She's pretty talented, funny, and does a great job with the writing she's given. I also love Olicity when it is more on the same funny end and not all dramatic, just to do that thing that every show does, bringing two characters together, breaking them up, just to bring them back together once more. That's just an old and dumb writing style. But do I want to see Laurel or any version of the Black Canary end up with Oliver? Maybe Earth 2 Laurel at some point, but I don't really care. I'm just into the show for the vigilante justice aspect of things. So as long as I'm offered my dose of that and all other arcs, including the romantic ones, are done well and without getting irritatingly annoying, I'll be totally fine with them. And let's not forget, while Felicity's character showed the tendency to be a drama queen at times, we've seen worse drama queen-like behavior from Laurel throughout a good part of Season 2 and a decent part of Season 3. So if we hate Felicity for that, we've got to hate Laurel as well. In my opinion though, the writers need to work out Felicity's character better over the course of season 6. They need to clearly define whether or not she's in love with Oliver while getting her double standards mentality out of the way. That's the only way more fans of the show will be willing to accept her character and give it a second chance, bias and double standards aside on the fans' end as well. So with that being said, let me know in the comments what you think of what I had to present here. Let me know if you hate or like Felicity and your reasons for either. Now, because I realize the kind of sensitivity this topic presents, I'll advise you to be calm as you comment. We're talking about a character in a TV show. But finally, let me know if you like this video by dropping me a much appreciated like, and while you're at it, remember to subscribe to my channel and enable notifications. And until I see you next time, thank you all for watching and have a perfect day.